Thank you for joining me on an overview of call routing with your boberdoo lead system. The idea of boberdoo is that you can track, route, and bill for all of your marketing activity, be those web leads or calls, and you can order numbers right through your boberdoo UI to market online and TV radio and direct mail campaigns or however you generate leads. Those calls will route through your boberdoo system, be decisioned, and then route to your clients to connect to that consumer. So just like with the web leads, calls enter your lead system, and boberdoo works on an exclusionary basis. So we remove all clients that are not active, all those that don't have available balance, and all those that do not have a matching filter set. At that point, we sort your matches, and there's multiple logics, including something called EPL, which is earnings per lead or earnings per call, to determine the winner and who should receive that call. There are tools in the filter sets that allow you to set timeouts, so it is true call routing and not just call tracking, meaning that you can route that call to subsequent lead buyers if the first one does not pick up. To take a look in the lead system, the phone routing tab allows you to manage campaigns, order phone numbers, and set up the tools for each one of those numbers for routing. In this tab here, you can order phone numbers. You can drill down on those numbers and search for specific area codes or numbers containing specific digits. And boberdoo is connected to your Twilio account. So you can use the boberdoo UI, but you pay Twilio directly for your number and minute usage. Now when ordering a number, you can add all of these options, things like welcome messages. We have custom IVR builder that allows you to build your own IVRs. And then you can order numbers and apply those to that campaign right from this page here. Going back to the campaign section, you can also edit and manage those numbers that are within a given campaign. So as I mentioned, you can apply different welcome messages that have IVRs attached to them. You can use music on hold and determine that. We have default phone routing for calls that don't match, as well as other options like caller ID check as an optional add-on, or a duplicity check to route subsequent calls back to the original call buyer and consider it a continuation of that original call. Once you've ordered numbers, brings us to the IVR manager. The IVR manager allows you to set up questions to present to the caller and then use their answers to route a call just like a web lead. This example here will be a simple project plus zip IVR for the home improvement industry. So you can set various welcome messages. We have options for voice, text to voice, as well as uploading an MP3. Then you'll see the option to present different options to them. So things like press 1 for HVAC, 2 for roofing, and so on. And those are going to be used in the filter sets to route that call. The next option for this call routing, IVR, is the zip code option. So if you're like me and you have a Chicago zip code when you're living in Packer land, this will allow the caller to enter their zip code and to use that for routing purposes. So this way you can use the actual geographic location of that consumer to route that call to the appropriate call buyer. The IPR call browser allows you to view by partner all of those calls. So this is one quick way to drill down based on a date range and a partner to view those calls for that particular partner. Now, once we've set up the inbound side of things, the next step is to look at the partners. Now, just like with a web lead, a partner needs an active account, available funds, and a matching filter set. In the partner tab for this demo system, you'll see that we do have one partner that's set up as active with available funds. So we're going to go into that partner's filter set. Just as a reminder, you can set up multiple filter sets and multiple lead types so you can offer a full portfolio of leads to your clients. Looking at the inbound phone here, you will see it looks very similar to a web lead filter set for Boberdoo, with some call specific things at the top. So you have your lead price, how much you're charging for the lead, and then the client's ring-to number, where you're sending that call. Next, we have call concurrency. So if this is being routed to a partner's cell phone, we would keep this at 1, but if it is a call center with 10 reps, for example, we can change this option. The goal being to optimize your call flow since you have a live person on that line. You want to make sure that you bypass or exclude anybody that cannot take that call at that snapshot in time. The inbound phone per minute fee is something that can be applied on a client by client basis. And then we have duration or buffer. So this would allow you, for example, to set 1 minute here so that the consumer and the call buyer have to talk for 1 minute before that billing transaction. We have the ability to turn off call recording. By default, it is recorded. And then this is what turns the system from call tracking into call routing. When this is checked, we look to that ring timeout, which is right below it, in order to see how long we should attempt that ring to number. In this case, we would attempt that number for 10 seconds. If they do not pick up, we will hang up on this buyer and dial the next available one in the queue. If there are no other matches, we would ring that default number. You can turn this off, for example, for proprietary campaigns. You'll notice that goes to no timeout and the duration is removed so that when this partner's filter set matches and we dial that ring to number, we bill for that client regardless of what happens on that call. There's also things like whisper messages, so you can prompt the call buyer before they're connected to the consumer. The rest of the filter set's going to look very similar. You'll have your sources, your lead delivery setup, a priority setting, exclusivity is ignored because it is a call. And then you have your caps, daily, weekly, and monthly. And then your day parting options, which allow you to specify times of day, days of week, and the associated price. So if you're selling weekday, weekend leads, or prime, off-prime calls, you can then price discriminate based on that time of day, so you can still route the calls to those clients at the appropriate price point. Then we get into some filtering options, so you can filter by area code by default, as well as terminating phone. That's that number that you order in your Boberdoo system. And then we have options for geographic routing. So this has the zip code filter enabled, so you can drill down and only send calls that have answered with a given set of zips for this particular partner. You could also do it by state, which would go back to that area code. And then multiple campaigns, so you can use that for your routing decisioning, as well as, in this case, a project filter set or filter icon. That is just illustrative of what can be set up. This could also be used as currently insured, or whether or not you currently have legal representation, or any question that you want to ask the caller to better decision that call. Now, once all of that is set up, any calls coming into that partner would then be routed and come into your leads tab. This is a real-time view of your incoming leads, showing what happened on each call, who it routed to, how much they paid for it, any refund requests. This is an example of somebody who did not make the minimum duration, so that call shows as declined. Or in this case, when we went through that exclusionary logic and there were none of your partners left, that call went unmatched and was sent to the default number. We have things like total duration, so you can see how long that call lasted, and then you can listen to and download the audio recording right from the UI. We have tools for things like forcing billable or viewing the lead logs, so you can see exactly what happened on each call. So this is really where you can get granular and look into the details of everything that happened with your call campaigns. For more of the aggregate reporting, this is where the reports tab come into play. So there's a lot of reports for boberdoo, but the inbound phone routing drill down report is the best one to start with when you're doing calls. And the report that we can take a look at here, it will show the details by partner of exactly what happened with your call routing. So how many attempts were made to that partner, how many of those attempts failed, how many attempts were rollbacks or those that did not meet the minimum duration. It will give you an average revenue per attempt, excuse me. This is a really good metric and what can be used to actually route that call in our EPL routing logic. So if you do calls, I would encourage you to check out that content, as it is a way to optimize your call flow. And then you can see other metrics like total duration and average call time. So this is a great report. You can set that up as a time report to be automatically delivered to you on a periodic basis. And that way you can keep on track of your call routing. So that is going to conclude the high-level overview of the call routing in the boberdoo system. We hope you jump into it and start routing those calls to your clients so that you can offer that full portfolio of leads. Thank you.